Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 2 of our 7th Get Up and Go free 30 plus day challenge. Today is day 2, and today we're going to talk about WIIFU, what's in it for you. But yesterday, let me ask you a question. How did it go? Did you tally up like I did? Number 1, did you get your paper and pencil or a notebook and pencil? I use and have started a different notebook. I have different notebooks for different challenges. This is actually the 3rd challenge homework I've done in this particular notebook. I did December and I did February, and now I am doing April 2021. Why? So I can go back and I can look at this and I can see my homework, what I did, what I learned, the lessons I learned. I just capture the things that I'm learning and the things that are important to me. But one thing I did do is I went and I did this exercise. I asked you to do a challenge. I do it as well. And I said, okay, well, how many challenges have I actually faced in my life? And how do I define those challenges? I get to decide and define challenges any way I want to. Well, I defined my challenges as pretty much any time I'd had to face a decision or a change in my life. And so that meant I came up with at least a minimum of 250,000 challenges I faced and I've dealt with and I've overcome, obviously successfully, because I'm still here and I'm still talking to you about challenges and change. And I calculated how many days I've been alive, because one of the hardest things we do, and actually this is so true, especially if you've had any kind of pain or accident or challenge, is get out of bed in the morning. Well, let's see, it's more than this now, but I've been getting out of bed over 22,000 times, right? 22,000 days I've been on the planet, and that means I've woken up and I've successfully got out of bed. Okay, there were some of those days I didn't actually get out of bed first thing in the morning because I was bedridden and had chronic pain, but for the most part, I've gotten out of bed 22,000 plus times. Then I started looking at all the other things that we do every day, dealing with chronic pain. Some people have never had chronic pain or never been in an accident. Others of us have had to deal with the consequences and overcoming and working through or continuing to move and get up and go through our chronic pain. I've had thousands and thousands of those experiences. Then we look at school drama and work drama and broken heart syndrome and work problems and raising kids and having kids and relationships and legal and tax and supply and demand and quality problems and logistics problems when running a business. I've run several businesses throughout my life, learning about different industries, so many challenges. And then there's always the big ones, right? Married, kids, divorced, surgeries. I've had half a dozen, actually I've had 7 surgeries. Shots in my eyes. I used to get iritis and uveitis, which is why I'm now legally blind, but I would get actually literally shots into my eyeballs. I call it arthritis of the eyes. It was inflammation in my eyes that caused me to lose my vision. But perpetual challenges and things. So how did you do on that? Did you think about all of the challenges that you've successfully overcome in your life so far? And not all of them, but at least a handful of them, so you have references to say, oh my gosh, I can do this. I am in control. I've done it before. I can do it again. But let's find a way to make it automatic. And then my other question for you is, have you done challenges, and how many challenges have you faced that you followed through and you overcame and you purposefully completed? That would be another question that we could have as a follow-up from yesterday. All right, today what are we going to talk about? What's in it for you? WIIFU, everyone's favorite radio station. A lot of people say WIIFM, what's in it for me, which is what we're usually asking ourselves. But since I'm talking to you, what's in it for you? What's in it for you to do a challenge? What's in it for you to do this challenge? For me, the number one reason, and I want you to think about, what is your number one reason for doing this challenge? Because I'm sure you've got other things that you could do for 10 minutes and then 10 or 15 minutes a day when you do the action item, or practice or try out the tool that we're talking about every day. I'm sure you've got things that you could be doing with this half hour that you devote to yourself each day. But why do you want to do that? What's in it for you? Well, what was in it for me was to make sure that I got up and kept moving, and it still is. It gets me moving, gets me focused on something positive and a direction that I want to go in my day every single day. It gives me purpose. It gives me a reason to get up and go every single day, is by sharing this and focusing on and learning the tools and practicing the tools that I'm sharing with you. Now, our tool today is going to be something I call, and I didn't make this up, but it's your set point. Think of the thermostat in your house. Think of the speedometer in your car. Think of the temperature of our bodies, right? We all have different set points for everything in our lives. What we're going to talk about today, and our tool today, is set points. Why do we have predetermined or set points? Places that we feel comfortable and we stay in that relatively small and tight range in any area and aspect of our life. Our personalities have set points. Our energy levels, our energy has set points. Everything does. So guess what? So do changes and challenges, and how we feel about them and respond to them. Now, the beginning of COVID, I did this at the beginning of COVID. Since this is our 7th challenge, I've obviously done this before. But at the beginning of COVID, I had not done what am I feeling? What's going on? How do I feel about change and challenges? Check. I hadn't done a check-in with myself to say, okay, all this happened. What am I thinking? What am I feeling about this? What's my number on a scale of 1 to 10, my set point, in terms of 1 would be ease of accepting and flowing with and handling what happens, versus a 10 would be, I am resisting this. I am freaking out. This is horrible. This is terrible. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm out of control. Complete chaos and mayhem is ensuing in my life. And I rated myself at the beginning of COVID, and that's what I want you to do, is think back to the beginning of COVID. What was your set point with respect to change? Now, all of us on the planet have gotten a whole lot of practice with our response and our set point with respect to change over the last year. We've been doing this for a year already. And our set point may or may not have changed. My set point has changed from where it was. It was a 7 in the beginning of COVID, because I had some stuff in place and some things set up that COVID had a much less impact on me personally. It had a huge impact on people I know and love and care about. But for me personally, if I'm just thinking about my current situation and my situation at the beginning of COVID, my situation didn't have to change as drastically as the vast majority of the people on the planet. It just didn't. I had been going through some changes and things with respect to my vision and my life for a couple of years already. So when it hit and the changes came with lockdowns and things and masks and all that, I had already been doing some of those things already. I had already been isolated in a lot of ways due to changes in my vision, changes in my lifestyle. So I still was at like a 7, and I don't want to be operating at a 7 toward the chaos scale of how I'm dealing with changes and challenges. And so that's part of where the Get Up and Go challenge came from, is like, okay, I want to get that down. I want to feel better. I want to go with the flow of the change and challenges. Now, if I ask myself today, where am I at? What's my set point with respect to change? And it's really about a 4 or less. It's continuing to go down. And each time I've done this challenge, I've made a massive improvement in myself personally in terms of how I handle changes and challenges, because I'm reminded of all the tools that I've had and have always had at my disposal to deal with different situations, to deal with challenges. And that's why I think it's important to just take a pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, how do I feel about change? How do I feel about challenges? How am I at handling them? Do I have a system that I automatically go through? And now I have a system that I automatically go through, which is why I'm continually improving and my numbers going down, and my set point for dealing with change and challenges is getting better and better and better. And I want the same for you. And this challenge, that's part of why we're devoting ourselves 30 days to learning, understanding, and practicing this process, so we can internalize it, we can make it our own, and we can get the automatic results. So today, our tool is set point. Our challenge is, what's in it for you? What is this challenge going to do for you? What do you expect? And I would love if some people would share in the comments below, what do you expect personally to get out of this challenge? What do you want to see happen for you? You can share that in our private page if you're a little nervous about sharing with everybody. And then everybody can share what's your set point right now with respect to changes on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being super go with the flow. Anything that happens, it just rolls off you and you continue to live your life in the direction you want to go no matter what. You just keep chugging away, would be a 1. And then 10 is, I totally freak out. I freeze. I procrastinate. I don't know what to do. I panic. I'm in chaos. I need this challenge because I can't operate at this level anymore. I need to get some control back over myself, my feelings, my thoughts, and my life. All right, that's it. That's our challenge today. Any questions, hit me up in the comments below or direct message me. Otherwise, I will, of course, be with you tomorrow for day 3 of our Get Up and Go challenge. Get up, go do this. It only takes like under a minute to check in with yourself and find out what your set point is. Pop in the comments, share your number. You just have to share your number between 1 and 10, and we'll all know what you're talking about. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Get up. Go. Do this.